Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Freedom Project stream of June 13th. Today we have Miss Ridhi with us, uh, and today we'll be touching on topic of Men's Mental Health Month. As we all know, June is Men's Mental Health Month, a designated time to raise awareness about um, healthcare trends and issues for men, while prompting overall wellness. While mental health for men is often an overlooked area of holistic health, recently more and more men are shattering cultural stigmas when it comes to discussing mental health openly, right? And as a result, more and more men than ever before are seeking treatment for issues including anxiety, depression, PTSD, and substance abuse. So today we have Miss Ridhi Sidana, who is a counselor, who is going to give us a brief or who's going to answer a few questions that we have about Men's Mental Health Month. So good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm fine. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here and talking to you, and especially when it's about mental health. And today we are going to talk about men and mental health. So I'm looking forward.
Um, Welcome, ma'am. It's always a
Thank
honor
you.
having you and pleasure having you with all the wonderful insights that you share with us. Um,
Thank,
so welcome once again. Um,
thank you so much.
so right. So as I said, June is Men's Mental Health Month, and men are quite insecure about their feelings, and men are taught to live in a certain way from when they are small itself, right? So my question would be, how do you feel about mental health stigma and its effects on men?
First of all, I would want to put some light on what a stigma is. If I go with the definition of stigma, it's mark of shame or discredit. And according to the Cambridge Dictionary definition, it's a strong feeling of disapproval that most people in the society have about something, especially that disapproval is unfair. So why, in regards to mental health, the stigma is there? Because when we talk about the history of mental health, it has always been seen that people who are mentally ill are supposed to be in the mental prisons or in the mental hospitals. So the history has been in our culture, if we talk about history, has been like this. Things have changed throughout the years, but that stigma is still there. People have become aware of mental health issues, but that stigma attached to the mental illness is still there. So when it comes to men, uh, so I believe that we have been living in gender stereotypes, uh, especially in Indian culture. So even before a child is born, there has been this uh, discrimination, this gender discrimination, that blue is for boys and pink is for girls. Cars are for boys and kitchen sets are for girls. So the moment child is born, the child go through this gender stereotypes, and things have changed, but still there is a lot to work on. And I think talks like such will make people more aware, educate, and conscious about mental health and mental illness. And when it comes to stigma in regards to men, uh, men are supposed to behave and be in a certain way, especially in Indian society, which is a patriarchal society, right? So there is a whole lot of pressure. The moment they are born, there is automatically, which is because it is deep embedded in our society. It is deep embedded in their upbringing only. So they have been brought up in such a way with this deep conditioning that they are supposed to be strong, they are supposed to behave in a certain way. So yes, when it comes to expression and expressing their even the smallest and tiniest of their emotions, it becomes difficult for them to express because they have not been conditioned and taught. So there is this, yes, there is this whole lot of stigma, and men are one clan and one I think it won't be wrong to say that they are more subjected to this, and the way they deal with this mental illness is completely different from how women and how other people deal with it. So yes, and
Yes.
when I
Yeah.
adding on to it, if I say that when it comes to men, uh, with the onset of symptoms to talking about it and seeking help, it takes 8 to 11 years. It has been seen. So, because they are not conditioned, they are not being taught, and they are supposed to behave and be in a certain way. In our society, it is called like be a man. So, be a man in itself means that you have to be a certain way, you have to be strong, and that strong definition of strong means that you are not supposed to express your vulnerabilities, you're not supposed to because you're not allowed to because you will be judged that you're not man enough. So there is there is this whole lot of pressure on men of Indian society, and they are dealing with it. And there is this huge concern that we need to take on, we need to look on, that men should come up more openly and talk about their mental illness, talk about their mental health issues.
Yes, like you're right. So once, like someone or men talk about their mental illness, uh, like you said, they have too much pressure on them from various aspects to be perfect or to be that idealistic man,
Yes.
sort of, right? Um, so, what are your thoughts on how men handle mental health? Like sometimes they don't express it openly, and sometimes they keep it to themselves, right? So, what are your thoughts on how men handle mental health?
If we talk about Indian society and men of Indian society, then women internalize mental health issues and men externalize it. They go completely externally with their mental illness. They may turn it to substance use, to drugs, to alcohol consumption. And yeah, these are because men completely externalize it, as I said before, because they are not supposed to. They are not even, because they've been deep conditioned that they have to act tough, that they are self sufficient, they can handle their emotions. But then we have to understand here, Bhagesh, that mental illness is real. Mental health is real. It is the disease of brain. You know, uh, if a person with cancer, the terms we use for that person is fighter, warrior, and strong and sick. But when it comes to person with mental illness, terms which comes to our mind is sad, vulnerable, weak. So this is the stigma. This is this whole stigma attached to the mental illness, and we need to understand here and accept here that mental illness is for real. It is something with the brain. It is not something with our mood swings. It is not something with our low phases in life. It is for real. And I think the more we talk about it and educate ourselves, and these such talks, this will bring more and more awareness and education.
Yes, right, rightly said. People need to be educated, and they need to be open to learning new things and learning that mental health is a disease, and they have to express it, or they have to get help to get better, right? Like how we get
Yes,
help from a
yes,
doctor.
and men should not externalize it. Going through mental illness is normal, and they should set up new norms. They should come up openly and talk about it. They should seek help. So I think, yes, instead of externalizing it and going to the substance and such things, they should accept it and come up with the seeking help.
Yes.
Yes,
And um, and like you rightly said before, there are a lot of expectations and or burdens that constrains men from the day they are born, right? um, so there are different societal, gender, and cultural expectations that are expected of men, right? So
yes.
what societal, gender, or cultural expectations do you feel constrain men in this bubble of uh, thought, or bubble of the mental illness?
See, we all accept it or not, but we all are being constantly bombarded with gender stereotypes. And we are born, we all receive subtle and not so subtle clues on how to be a man. Uh, as I said earlier, from baby boy wearing blue to real men don't back down from a fight. Gender stereotypes are embedded into our cultures and reinforced by role models and media. So there are certain. I think I lost you, or are you still there?
Yes, yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Indeed.
O-
I'm
Okay. So yes, coming back to the point that there is this gender stereotypes typically that we have been living with, and few of them for men are like they are self-sufficient. They are being brought up that you don't need anybody to share your sorrows, your feelings with. You can handle all your emotions on your own. So this pressure has always been there. So somewhere, see, we all are humans, we all are born with emotions, we all have our thought that cognitive distortions, right? We all go through relationship issues. Men go through it, but women are like still, women are still coming up and talking about it, seeking help. But this whole lot of societal pressure, uh, they are not allowing men to open up from inside. And first of all, acceptance. They are not ready to accept. They are not even, they are not even aware there's something may or something can, as I said, that between the symptoms to the seeking out help, it takes 11 to 8 to 11 years. It's a almost more than a decade. So in between this, men is suffering, males, they are suffering inside. And such things like being self sufficient, they are not supposed to, they are not supposed to seek help, because that will not be a manly thing. uh, they don't come out to seek help and acting tough. Even if they are feeling vulnerable, they are supposed to act tough because they are men. Especially if we talk about Indian society, and men are supposed to act tough. Men are not supposed to cry, they are not allowed to cry. They are not allowed to express their emotions, that yes, I'm feeling sad. And even if they feel stressed out, their stress is being connected to the financial pressure. Their stress is being, that stress is normal with men. But we have to understand here that Yes, stress is normal, it's one of the emotion, but dealing with stress should be considered for men too. You can't avoid all the symptoms. And then is this third is this physical attractiveness. They are, they are supposed to look in a certain way, but spending too much time on your grooming, that's not considered manly. Like, if I talk about families, if you see a male taking out time to groom themselves, even to groom their bodies, so they are not they are not appreciated. They are always said by the elders that, are you a girl, you that you're spending so much time on your, you are supposed to look with the, with sometimes with the beard, it's okay. But then so there is this whole lot of conditioning. There is this, that this process has been going on, we are not breaking it. We have been living with it. And then is this just rigid gender roles. I still remember the movie Key and Ka, uh, this Arjun Kapoor and Kareena Kapoor. So men and women have been assigned a specific role in our Indian society, that men are supposed to go out and work. Females are, of course, females are, there are working women, there are homemakers, they are taking care of children. But men are, even if they wish to, men are not supposed to. And if they are doing, as Virat Kohli, he has taken this paternal, he's taken that leave, but he has been trolled because he so this is the something that it's always the maternity leave. Why a father can't take a leave? It should be his choice. Men should be given a choice. And it is just not there. They are not given, I mean, they are not given the choice. They are not asked out for that, whether they want to, if they are interested. I remember when Sanjeev Kapoor, he entered into this whole industry. So he's been trolled that, even I remember he talking about his profession to the family members. He was trolled that you are a man and you are not supposed to go in the kitchen and cook. So there is this roles defined. And uh, I believe that it should be choice of every human to do whatever they want to do, whatever they wish to do. So, but then there is this whole image, a certain kind of image for a man, that they are supposed to go out and come back home, and they are supposed to earn the whole finances. They are supposed to control the whole finances. So this we are talking about on an average in Indian society. Then if we talk about, heterosexual and homosexual, and there is this whole lot of stigma attached to it, that they are not real men. Straight men are not supposed to be friends with gay men. So yeah, lot of things, lot of societal pressure. There is this whole pressure of sexuality, that men are supposed to, you know uh, men are supposed to ask out first. So just think of that person who is, they have been they have been so imposed. So for everything, for every role. And they have not been taught to come up openly and talk about it. They have not been taught to even talk to any of their friend about their personal issues, because they don't know how to vent it out. They don't know how to come up with it, because they have not been brought up like that. Yeah, and then is this aggression. Men are supposed to be aggressive. Sometimes it's okay to be violent. And so there is this whole list where men are supposed to behave. in a certain way, and they have been living with it. And hence, there is this survey where more in 2016, yes, men were almost 4 times more likely than women to commit suicide. This is, I'm talking about the Indian society, Indian men, that 4 times more in 2016. So uh, this is uh, this is really not healthy sign, because we need to we need to put light on men's mental health too, because it is real, and it is going to take a lot of time, because yes, due to all these gender stereotypes, social pressures, they are just not supposed to. And yes, I think we need to talk more and more about men's mental health in specifically.
Yes, like you rightly said. We do need to talk about it, and men themselves need to talk about it to first accept that they are going through a certain condition. And sometimes there are many obstacles that prevent men from getting help, right? So, what do you think are the biggest obstacles that prevent men from getting help for their mental health problems?
Biggest obstacle is the society itself, because mm, even not just with men, but I would say that with everyone talking about their mental illness and seeking a help for it, we still think that what people will think about it. So this uh, underscore this is the biggest obstacle, that what people are going to think about me, my family, because as I said that people who are suffering from cancer, people with cancer are what things come to our mind is, they are warriors, they are they must be they must be in pain, but people with mental illness, they are considered crazy, mad, such terms have been used. And it's still there, stigma is still there. And with men, I would say that, oh, come on, toughen up. You are a man, be a man. So, society and sometimes families too, uh, they are the biggest obstacle. Even if someone is, realizing it, someone is just experiencing the issues within them, it takes more than a decade to come up openly, whether should I seek help or not, what society will think about me. Sometimes the spouse is not ready to accept. Families, I have seen with my clients that men are not ready to share, with their families too, because there is this whole lot of pressure that, who's going to marry you if someone will come to know that you are going through some mental health issues, some mental illness. You are not, you are not going to be the one eligible bachelor. So, society is one of the biggest obstacle, who's stopping men to talk about it, to accept it, and to come up openly about it. But I believe that times will come when things will change and families would understand. Our generation would bring up their children. Being a mother of a boy, I want my son to, more than academic intelligence, I want to lay emphasis on emotional intelligence, how to understand your emotions, how to be aware of yourself. So I think the next generation, mothers of boys, they will understand this. They will understand the need of an hour. They will understand if their spouse, it's the responsibility of every female partner to understand. And if they see some symptom, they should talk to their partners about it. And sometimes, it can be other way around also, that a partner is concerned, and she may ask that, I may see, I can see some of the symptoms, but the partner is not ready to accept it, because it'll be on his uh, manly, that, how can she think of me like that. But then, yeah, I am hopeful that, all the things put together, they will bring some change in this men's mental health, which is need of an hour.
Yes, like you rightly said, the need of the hour is to educate people on mental health and to help them to express themselves, to firstly acknowledge them that they have an issue, and then
Yes,
secondly is to overcome it, right? Uh,
yes,
so yeah, so I think we've definitely learned a lot till now on everything that you've said, and everyone can relate it. Me being a man, I can relate to most of like everything that you've said till now, and I know everyone else also will, right? So before we wrap up the session today, one last question I would like to ask you is, what celebrity do you think has the biggest influence in changing attitudes towards mental health, and why?
um from the last few years, this is what I have seen, that, Deepika Padukone talking openly about her depression, her journey towards depression, and she's been coming up openly in media, and she's talked about it. So, you know, Barkha Dutt, she's talked about her panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and people, they have started understanding now. At least the wave have all, the process has already begun, that and the wave has already been started, that, mental health is for real. You may look, you may look happy, you may be normal with your profession, you may, there is this, you may look in a certain way, but still you don't know what's going on inside. So, Deepika Padukone, and still she's doing a lot of work with her NGO Live, Love, Laugh, and she's been talking about it. Also, uh, I just forgot the name. Mm, Nirja Birla. Yes, she
Yeah.
has started this NGO, and her daughter, I am just forgetting her name. She has also come up openly and talked about it. So I think when influential people, uh, they talk about their health issues, they talk about mental health, which is stigmatized still. So people start believing that, if, it's for real, and it's okay to accept it, because it's another health issue. It's not, that you are supposed to be, you are mental, you are crazy. It's for real. And everyone, it, everyone may go through it, everyone may be suffering inside, and just because they are not aware, they don't talk about it and seek help. So, mental health practitioners are coming up, and educating people, making, bringing out the awareness in social media. So this is helping. This is bringing out an awareness, where people are still, they're not coming up openly. If I talk about men, They still want to hide their identity. But then, to start with, it's okay. At least they are accepting it, that something is not, at least, they are coming up. And one of the major setback, and if we talk about men's mental health, Sushant Singh Rajput's death, and he has there is this complete there has been a complete storm after his death, that you don't know what the other person is going through, and it is for real. And if not taken care of, if not taken seriously, then this may lead to suicidal attempts. It may lead to the damage of your life. So it is so important to look out, and first of all, look inside you, and prioritize your mental health. One of the most important thing I want to mention here is that we have been talking about self care, and men are just not aware of the self care. So men should indulge in more and more self care, and they should find out more and more self care ways, how to take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. And they should, I think we should set up a new norm, that it's okay to come up openly, it's okay to feel vulnerable, and tough men are those who accept their emotions. Tough men are those who come up openly with their emotions and vulnerabilities. And real men are those who indulge into self care things.
Yes. Uh, Thank you. Yes, like you said, everyone. So if you take care of yourself, basically, with the right attitude, um, you can minimize the risk or minimize getting a mental illness, right? Um, so thank you so much for uh, giving us such a wonderful insight into men's mental health, and explaining to us how we uh, perceive mental health as a male, and how we should overcome it in today's day and age, right? Uh, so thank you so much. And before we'd like to go, you mentioned Sushant Singh Rajput and his
Yes.
death. So as a tribute to him, tomorrow we're going to have a tribute event for Sushant Singh Rajput,
Oh,
which will span from 11 a.m. in the morning to
okay.
9 in the evening. So I urge you also to watch, and I urge all our viewers also today who are watching us
Yes,
to join us live
definitely.
tomorrow for the Sushant
Yes,
Singh Rajput tribute
I
event.
will.
Uh,
I will.
yes. So and
And thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much.
Bhagesh. It's always a
Yes.
pleasure. It's always honor, and I always say that it's an opportunity for psychologists and counselors like us, that you guys give us a platform to bring awareness. You guys are doing great job, because it's so important to bring awareness, education, and understanding about the mental illness and issues related with it. So
Yes.
thank you for doing what you're doing, and thank you for giving opportunity to counselors like us to come up and talk about it. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you. The honor is all ours. We get to interview and spread awareness about the work that you are doing, and the work that we are also trying to reduce the stigma around mental health, right? Um,
Yes.
so thank you so much for joining.